It is an absolutely gorgeous day at Universal Studios Florida, and today we're going to try Jimmy Fallon's Race Through New York. I'll share with you everything you need to know from the perspective of a plus-size person, including information about wheelchairs, ECVs, strollers, and other concerns about accessibility and sensory concerns. Welcome to Pammie Plus Parks. I am Pammie, your plus-size fairy godmother, bringing you all the magic that Disney, Universal, and Florida have to offer plus-size people and people with mobility, accessibility, cognitive, and sensory concerns. And today we're trying a ride I've never been on before, Jimmy Fallon's Race Through New York. And here we are in front of the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon Theater. And just over here to the right, you can see right over here are some tester seats. We're gonna try those out. Just above the test seats, there's a little sign here that says this attraction's seat restraints may not accommodate a guest with certain body dimensions. Please use this test seat to ensure your ability to ride. In order to give you a good idea of the size of the seat, I've placed my very standard size backpack in the chair so you can see just how deep and wide it is. All right, here I pull the entire length of the belt out so you can see how long it is. And this is actually one of the shortest belts I've ever seen in a theme park for a belted ride. This belt is about 4 feet long. I find that in order to fit comfortably in a belted ride, I need the belt to be about 6 feet long, so I have like a little extra room left over, and I am very comfy that way. Even though these belts are only 4 feet long, they do have seat belt extenders if you ask for them. So let's try the seat and see if it's comfortable to sit in. I am able to fit in the seat. It is a little bit snug on my hips, but it is not uncomfortable at all. I think in my estimation, the width of this seat is very similar to the theater seats in Walt Disney World. If you can fit in those, you are definitely going to fit in this. I think this might be actually even a tiny bit bigger than some of the Walt Disney World theater seats like the ones in Muppet Vision. I totally forgot to tell you information about myself that's going to help you decide whether or not this ride will work for you, and that's my height, weight, and sizes. I am 5 feet 4 inches tall, and today I weigh 327 pounds. I wear US women's sizes 28 or a 4 or 5X. Let's check out the warning sign for this ride. The ride portion of this experience simulates a high-speed, turbulent thrill ride through the streets of New York City with dramatic aerobatics, rapid acceleration and deceleration, sharp turns, and sudden drops. You should avoid riding if you have heart conditions or abnormal blood pressure, back, neck, or similar physical conditions, expectant mothers, motion sickness or dizziness, medical sensitivity to strobe effects, recent surgery, or other conditions that may be aggravated by this ride. You must be 40 inches or taller in order to ride, and children between 40 and 48 inches must be accompanied by a supervising companion. Guests may remain in a standard wheelchair throughout, or they may transfer into the seat. The ride does not accommodate motorized wheelchairs or electric convenience vehicles. Because this ride does not accommodate ECVs, we're going to ask a few questions about that, like can you go inside the building and in the queue in an ECV? Will they allow you to transfer from an ECV into a wheelchair? Do they have loaner wheelchairs? Let's find all that out. Guests with service animals should see an attendant for assistance, and guests should secure their prosthetic limbs before riding to prevent hazards or loss due to ride forces. If you're needing some closed captioning, please see an attendant for the closed captioning or assisted listening device. And as always, there's no photography or video recording allowed. There are actually 3 ways to enjoy this ride. You can go through the regular line. There's also an express line if you have an express pass, and they have a virtual line as well where you wait outside of the queue and come back at a return time and bypass the major line. I think we're going to go ahead and try the regular line because there's some really fun experiences inside within the queue that I think you guys are going to enjoy, and I want to show you. I also want to note that strollers are not allowed inside the queue, and there's a place to park your stroller. We're gonna go check that out right now. Now you can see just off here in the distance is the theater marquee for the Jimmy Fallon Theater, but over here, where they have the Metropolis Tribune sign, is the entrance for the regular line. All right, as we approach here, you can see that there are kiosks where you can pick up passes for the virtual line. But you don't have to use the kiosks if you have the app on your phone. So if you have the Universal Studios app, you can use that to get your ticket for your virtual queue. Just off to the right of the kiosks, you can see there's ECV parking, and there's also stroller parking. Universal also makes loaner wheelchairs available for people who want to transfer from their ECV into a wheelchair. Now, you aren't allowed to bring your ECV inside of the building at all, so if you do have difficulty walking and you have mobility concerns, make sure you grab one of these loaner wheelchairs. The chairs only come in one size, so I'm gonna sit in one and see if they're tight. All right, so I'm sitting in one of the loaner chairs, and they're actually wider chairs that fit plus-size people, and they are super comfortable. So even someone who is as large as me, and I feel like if I were up to 350 pounds, this would be no issue whatsoever for me to sit in. It might be a little bit snugger if you're larger, but yeah, this is actually really comfortable. I highly recommend transferring from your ECV into one of these wheelchairs in order to enjoy this ride. We're about to head inside the building to enjoy the indoor portion of this queue because there's not very many people here today, so the outdoor portion of the queue is not being used. And although I'm going to show you some cool stuff inside, eventually I will have to turn my camera off for the ride itself because, as the signs say, you're not allowed to do any filming inside the ride. Oh wow, this is really cool. Looks like the lobby inside of a NBC building. Hi! One, please. Thank you very much. Oh wow, look at this. It looks like a museum of TV. Oh man, I actually learned camera work on this very style of camera a million years ago when I was in school. That's fantastic. Holy cow, does this camera bring back memories. Wow, this is really gorgeous in here. Yeah, this is just like being in a museum. It's pretty cool. Okay, it appears there are a couple flights of stairs to get upstairs, but just over here is an elevator. So I'm going to take advantage of the elevator to show you what that experience is like. Boop. Ooh, fancy. This looks like a corporate NBC elevator for sure. Check out the rug. Oh, you actually have to press the button to go up. Those are all the folks coming up the stairs. So if you notice, they gave me a green pass, and I'm noticing that the lights along the hallway are green. I wonder if that means something. Yes, I do believe that if you have a green pass and you have green lights, it's your turn to board. And there's usually a stage show over here, and there's lots of fun things to do, but because there's no real line today, we're going straight on the ride. Well, I just got off the ride and it was awesome. I can't wait to tell you all about it, but first, a couple of quick things. This is a 3D ride. You do have 3D glasses. They're very, very flexible and they fit right over your own glasses. Also, there is a family waiting room that I want to show you. Those are the theater exit doors, and just over here is the family waiting room. So for whatever reason, if you're unable to ride this ride, here is where you wait for your family and you're very close to the exit. And we're walking past the family waiting room, and there's stairs that lead right to the gift shop. But if you have trouble navigating stairs for any reason, just over here is the elevator. Let's take it. So while we're waiting for the elevator, let me tell you about something really cool I saw there. In rows 2, 4, 6, and so on, every even row, there's a half seat on each end of the row. That half seat isn't for someone to sit in. It's actually to help with spacing in the theater so that everyone has a clear view of the screen. So if you feel like you need that little extra bit of room, make sure that you tell your team member that you want to sit on rows 2, 4, 6, 8, one of those even rows on the very end, and you'll have extra space. But I will say this for one thing. I found the seats were actually a little more roomier inside the theater, and I also found that there was a spacer between the seats that made it so that you weren't right on top of the person next to you. It was really comfortable. All right, here we are in the gift shop. You got, ew, the puppies from the basket of puppies inside. Oh my God, hashtag the panda. Now, hashtag the panda is part of the pre-show in there, but when the lines are really, really slow, you don't get any pre-show. So that's why we went straight into the theater today and we didn't see that. For $99.95, you can have your very own hashtag the panda suit for all your panda needs. Sorry, I was pandering to the masses with that joke. Ooh, for $24.95, I could take this peacock pillow home. I actually really dig this. I love rainbows, so like, I'm all about it. I might have to pick that up someday. They have lots of neat shirts in here, like the Ragtime Gals, which is also part of the pre-show, but they, we didn't get to see that today. Classroom instruments. All the key skit characters. Now these t-shirts are about $28 each. They go up to size extra, extra large. Now, they don't have a dressing room in here to try stuff on, but they at least have a mirror that you can slip a shirt on and check it out, make sure it fits. This is a pretty cool gift shop, but you know what? We're gonna head outside, we're gonna grab something to drink, we're gonna chill out, and I'm gonna tell you all the extra details you need to know for sensory concerns, plus size concerns, and so much more. Okay, so I've been sitting here enjoying a super delicious cotton candy slushie. It's amazing. Cooling off, and getting ready to tell you a little bit more about this ride, especially for folks who have sensory concerns. Now, you may have noticed we missed the pre-show in there. The line was so short they bypassed it, but there's often like a little appearance by hashtag the panda and the Ragtime Gals. So I'm sad we missed that, but at least you kind of got to see a little bit of the theater area there. Once you get past that theater holding area, you're sent on through to where you pick up your 3D glasses, and finally, you'll encounter a team member who's going to assign you to the row that you're gonna sit in. That's a very important team member for you because you're going to need to let that team member know that you would like to sit on the end of the row if you feel like you want a little more elbow room. And remember, there's additional elbow room on rows 2, 4, 6, 8, the even rows. The seats are the same size, but there's a little more elbow room. Now, you also need to let this team member know if you think you're going to need a seatbelt extender, and it's always safer to ask for one. When it was my time to go into the theater, I went right to the end of the row to my seat. There was a team member waiting for me who had my seatbelt extender and waited while I attached it and then like made sure I was plugged in properly. I struggled a little bit to plug in, not because the belt wasn't long enough, but because I was perched on the edge of the seat, reaching behind me and plugging in the belt. I couldn't really see where I was plugging it into, but the team member was right there to help me with it. They plugged it in for me. It was a snap. It was great. I'm gonna say something I've said before, but it's super important. You need to understand that if there are things that you want or need that are gonna help you feel more comfortable, do not be afraid to ask for those things. Team members here at Universal have been amazing to me. They give me detailed information, they make me feel comfortable and relaxed, and they provide all of the things that I need to feel safe, secure, and comfortable. And they treat me with dignity. I think that's really important to remember, that there are a lot of wonderful people that work at the Universal Parks who are very dedicated to making sure you have the best time possible. So never be afraid to ask for anything that you want or need, and make sure that you have an amazing time with your family and friends. Now, let's talk a little bit more about sensory concerns. The ride vehicle itself is basically a theater that moves. So the theater will tilt forward, tilt backward, tilt to the right, tilt to the left. And the movie screen in front of you is about 180 degrees around you approximately. It's very high and you feel immersed inside of the film. And it is 3D, so it can give people who have motion sickness some issues. I don't have any motion sickness. I had no problems with this whatsoever. I am on the high functioning end of the autism spectrum, and this posed no problems for me whatsoever. There were some things that some people with autism might have issue with, and I'm going to share some things that might be spoilers for you. Okay, so if you have autism or sensory concerns where things are touching you, there aren't any people or things touching you, but you will feel a mist, you will feel a breeze, and there are scents that you'll smell. Like you'll smell like an oceany smell, you'll smell like foods like pizza and things like that. You're going to have those sensory things hit you kind of in the face. I loved it. I felt immersed in the ride because of it, but it might not be for everyone. So remember, there is a light mist of water a couple of different times, strong breezes, and scents. You know, I don't like to give too much away about the ride in case it'll ruin it for people who've never been on it before, but I also want my friends who have autism and other sensory concerns to know what to expect. Overall, I highly recommend Jimmy Fallon's Race Through New York for people who are plus size and people who have certain mobility concerns. And as an autistic person, I loved it as well. I really love this ride. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to trying it again. Hope you try this ride too. But don't go away yet. I've got some more videos that I picked out for you for Universal rides and dining. Until the next time I see you, remember, life is a roller coaster. Enjoy the ride.